Not too long ago, I spoke about Bagan, one of Godzilla's strongest foes that unfortunately never made it to screen due to an array of complications. But it did make its way into the video game scene as it was featured on the SNES game Super Godzilla. But what if I was to tell you the game not only featured one of Godzilla's most powerful adversaries, but it also featured one of, if not the strongest version of the King of the Monsters to date. The name Super Godzilla comes from the fact its home was on the Super Nintendo. There's countless examples of games that put Super in the title to emphasize that this was next-gen stuff. But it wasn't only that, but Godzilla essentially had the capability to go Super Saiyan and turn into a super-powered ultra version of himself, which is known as Super Godzilla. So, let's go over all you need to know about the most powerful version of Godzilla. The game Super Godzilla was released in 1993 in Japan and 1994 in North America. You take control of Godzilla as you guide him through a variety of levels where you fight a multitude of Godzilla's greatest foes from the Showa and Heisei era. The top screen shows Godzilla wandering through the streets and crashing through buildings, and the bottom provides info about the map, which direction you're headed in, and what nemesis stands before you. If you encounter a monster and are thrust into combat, the game switches to a side view fighting style screen, and you must time your attacks perfectly in order to deal maximum damage. The story feels like it was ripped straight out of a 90s Godzilla movie. When King Ghidorah suddenly attacks Osaka, the military deploys the Super X to locate Godzilla and use a transmitter to control the King of the Monsters, almost like a video game. He's led to Osaka to engage in battle with Ghidorah, where he swiftly defeats the devil with 3 heads. Ghidorah's body disappears, and it's revealed that he was taken by an alien race that was controlling Ghidorah this whole time. Now Godzilla must find and defeat all the monsters being controlled by these aliens, of which includes King Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla, Biollante, Batra, Mecha King Ghidorah, before meeting the final boss, Bagan, the God of Darkness. In the game, it's practically impossible to defeat Bagan in Godzilla's regular form. Standard attacks can't penetrate Bagan's tough armored hide. So, how can the King of the Monsters defeat him? Well, earlier in the story, a scientist combined Godzilla's DNA with Ghidorah's to create a new power source called Super Energy. This serum was used to enhance Bagan to become the mega beast we see standing before Godzilla. But several capsules were hidden across the city, and when picked up can be used by the player to enhance Godzilla's abilities, mutating Godzilla's biology, transforming him into the more powerful titan known as Super Godzilla. In the transformation, Godzilla's skin changes to a dark purple. His size and mass increases dramatically, including 2 massive spikes sprouting from his shoulders. His chest glows a bright neon green, presenting a core that has the ability to control the sheer amount of energy coursing through Godzilla, and also blast a powerful beam of unfiltered energy from the center. Now standing 110 meters tall and weighing 80,000 metric tons, it's safe to say Godzilla received a substantial upgrade. In terms of abilities, Super Godzilla has an energy tail that utilizes the S energy to deal substantial damage against opponents. He also has an explosive shoulder ram and Super Punch that can charge energy into his hand to direct all the force into one position. His atomic breath is also enhanced in the form of Nova Breath, a ranged attack that surpasses a temperature of 1 million degrees Celsius, glowing a bright orange as it blasts a hole into its target. Even more powerful than this is his Naval Blast, where the energy swells up around the tip of his stomach, before unleashing the devastating blast, which takes the form of Super Godzilla's head as it only grows in pure energy before making contact with its opponent, which is the most effective way to take down opposing monsters with ease. Super Godzilla's defenses are also greatly enhanced, and his armored skin takes no damage from smaller monsters, and the damage taken from alpha titans like Ghidorah or Mechagodzilla is cut roughly in half, making this version of Godzilla over twice as tough as his regular counterpart. With these new powers, Super Godzilla defeats Bagan and the aliens retreat from the planet. The serum eventually wears off and Godzilla returns back to his original form. The Super X-2 disables the transmitter, releasing Godzilla from their control, and the King of the Monsters returns to the ocean to rest once again. It's easy to recognize that Super Godzilla is one of, if not the strongest iteration of the King of the Monsters. It's only been featured in this SNES game, as well as a Game Gear game titled Godzilla Giant Monster March, which released in 1995. But it's a shame that this version of our favorite reptile hasn't been seen on screen. But that isn't actually quite true. Minoru Yoshida, the designer of Super Godzilla, decided to recycle the design of this Super King of the Monsters for a then upcoming movie. In December 1994, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla would release, and in it, we get a new twist on the series tradition, where instead of Godzilla fighting a new monster, he would fight a version of himself. Space Godzilla was created when Mothra unwittingly carried pieces of Godzilla's genetic material into space, where it fell into a black hole, crystallizing and forming this new evil mutant version of Godzilla. And hopefully you can instantly see why I've brought this up. Yes, Yoshida reused the designs of Super Godzilla to create Space Godzilla. With his large shoulders, more muscly build, forehead crest and colored chest, he's instantly recognizable as an adaptation of the game's design. Space Godzilla is also widely accepted as one of Godzilla's most powerful foes, which helps do justice to the design that many fans had hoped would make an appearance in the live-action films. Unfortunately, the original Super Godzilla has yet to be seen on the big screen in its original form, although there is hope. It was revealed that Bagan will feature as an antagonist in the popular Godzilla puppet show, Gojiban, and one of the artists working on the show posted this image of Bagan and a variety of other monsters, but on the bottom we see the outline of, you guessed it, Super Godzilla, and this was even confirmed to be the case by the artist himself. So it seems like Super Godzilla could get his chance to shine after all. Would you like to see this Super Godzilla on the big screen in an upcoming film? Maybe even the Monsterverse can tackle the idea. Let us know in the comment section down below. If you want more deep dives into the history of the King of the Monsters, then like this video because it lets us know what you want to see more of. And don't forget to subscribe and stomp the notification button to become a resident of Dangerville today. I've been Alistair, and we'll see you residents in the next one.